Now meet Susan. Susan is married to Roger and they have 3 children and lots of grandchildren. Susan's hearing began to fade in her 50s, and she's been wearing hearing aids now for over 10 years. Susan's first hearing aids were conventional, or amplifiers. Amplifiers have been around for over 100 years and basically just turn all the sounds up while in your ears. They are still highly advertised today. Her hearing aids may help a little in some situations, but often over-amplify sounds in a restaurant, church, even in quiet settings, making it difficult to wear them for any period of time. Susan frequently struggled in noisy situations to understand what people were saying. For example, at a restaurant, she could hear the cooks in the kitchen much easier than the person sitting right in front of her. That's the problem with amplifiers. They make all sounds louder. Do you remember this slide from earlier? It was mentioned previously that most people lose their hearing in the higher frequencies first. Therefore, if you have a hearing aid that simply turns everything up equally, certain sounds will be louder than they should be, while other sounds are not amplified at all. In other words, this individual's hearing aids would be over-amplifying these sounds without providing help in the high-frequency area. Do you remember which side of the chart here is more important for your understanding? It's the high-frequency side that gives you 80% of your understanding. Amplifiers really only turn up the sounds you already hear, and that's why they will end up in a dresser drawer and not in your ears. Hearing aids have really changed over the years, but the most significant changes in hearing technology have occurred just recently. So in the 100-year history of hearing aids, the biggest advancements have occurred just recently in the last couple of years. Not only are hearing aids smaller and more discreet, but the circuitry is much faster and capable of delivering natural and lifelike sounds. There are basically 2 types of hearing aids. Amplifiers that just make all the sounds louder like we just spoke about. And digital hearing aids, which have a tiny computer inside and can actually be prescribed to a person's unique hearing loss, even each ear individually. In a similar manner that eyeglasses are prescribed to your eyes, hearing aids are fine-tuned and programmed to your ears. There are many companies that make digital hearing aids, and as you can imagine, they are not all created equally. Great hearing aids have some of the following characteristics. Number 1, they are digital, allowing them to be customized to your needs. Number 2, they have something called noise reduction. Where do people with hearing loss have the most difficulty? It's in a noisy setting of a group, crowd, at church, at a restaurant, in the car, even walking down the street, anywhere where there's noise. Noise reduction is a feature that allows the hearing aids to turn down unwanted background noise and turn up the volume of speech at the same time. You heard that right. The hearing aids can actually distinguish between speech and noise. It's a wonderful feature to help you hear even in a noisy situation. Did you know your hearing aids can now help with that ringing sensation you might have called tinnitus? People often describe it as hearing bells ringing, crickets, buzzing, or static. This feature, when activated in the hearing aids, can help significantly reduce the ringing sensation, so we can help you hear better and reduce the ringing at the same time. Today, your hearing aids can actually connect to other electronic devices, such as televisions or cellular phones. People with hearing loss tend to listen to the TV or radio too loud. Now your hearing aids can wirelessly connect to your home electronics, allowing you to stream audio directly into your hearing aids from your TV or cell phone. To any spouses who struggle with the volume of the TV for someone who is hearing impaired, listen carefully. Now the person with hearing aids can hear the TV without the volume even being turned up. That's because the hearing aids receive the sounds wirelessly, and the person wearing them hears it inside their ears, not from the TV speakers. You can even listen to music with your hearing aids from an iPod or music device. Hearing aids can even store multiple sound programs for you. These sound programs are specific to environments you might find yourself in frequently. You might have a program for when you're at a restaurant or church, or when it's quiet, or when you're in the car, or in a group setting. They are so helpful and easily changed from one program to another by you. Finally, digital hearing aids have something called channels. With channels, we can turn the volume of certain frequencies up and other frequencies down at the same time. It's like an equalizer where you can turn the bass and treble sounds up or down on your radio in the car. Here's an example of a 2-channel hearing aid. Channels allow us to prescribe hearing aids more precisely to one's hearing loss. More channels means the specialist can more accurately prescribe the hearing aids to match your hearing loss. We call this a digital prescription, a prescription intended only for your ears and needs. Do you hear better on one side versus the other? We prescribe each ear individually based on the hearing loss. The end result is you feel balanced on each side. Again, the more channels, the more accurately we can prescribe the sound going into your ears. As your hearing changes over the years, we simply readjust the channels to offset any changes that may occur, so you don't need to purchase a hearing aid every time your hearing changes. We simply change the settings in the hearing aids if your needs change. It only takes a few minutes to test your hearing every ear, make any changes that are needed to the hearing aids, and it's included in the cost of your hearing aids for life. Click on Segment 7 to learn the final steps to take to reverse the effects of hearing loss in your life.